Who's got the best chance of beating Ilia Topuria at featherweight? Now, I started thinking about it. Is there anyone that can actually beat Ilia Topuria? Like his style, like the way he is? Like we're talking about a guy who's got excellent striking with heavy-handed power. We're talking about the guy that has really good grappling. It's just hard to submit him. I think the only way you can actually beat him is you can't actually beat him by decision. You have to knock him out. But what about someone maybe with grappling, this and that? So out of everyone in the featherweight division at 145, who actually has the best chance to beat Ilia Topuria? And that's what I wanted to talk about in this video. So I'm going to go through the featherweight rankings, and I'm going to talk about people I think have the best chance to beat Ilia Topuria. So I'm not going to look at all the rankings. I'm just going to look at people that I personally think are going to do better or good, and we're just going to talk about them. So let's start with number 15. Edson Barboza is still ranked at featherweight. At number 15, Dan Ige, Bryce Mitchell. Ilia already fought him. Giga Chikaze, Lerone Murphy, Calvin Kattar. And here's one of the people I think can actually get Ilia Topuria run for their money. Like, I don't know if he beats him. Personally, I don't think he beats him. But I think he can actually give like a decent fight to Topuria, and that's Aljamain Sterling. Am I crazy for thinking Aljamain Sterling actually can have a close fight with Ilia Topuria? I don't know, because I think Sterling actually has that up chance. Like, I know people say, oh, he's too small, he's not going to beat Topuria, and I'm like, Aljo was one of the biggest, if not the biggest bantamweight ever, and he looks great for featherweight, and I know he had the competitive fight with Movsar Evloev, and some people say he won, some people say he lost the fight against Movsar. Personally, I think he won. I might need to rewatch the fight and give my a fair assessment again, but watching it live, I think that Aljo did enough to win, if I remember correctly. It could just be my bias, considering I am an Aljo fan. I remember I was a fan during his whole fiasco with his bantamweight title reign, especially how he won the belt against Peter Yan. But I think he can have the answer to Topuria a little bit. Like, he could have it. The way he can see it is I can see him just like grappling and backpacking Topuria all day, like through the rounds. Sure, the striking is going to be tricky because Topuria has decent takedown defense, and not to mention he can grapple too. But how does Topuria feel when you get the grappler that can actually hold you and keep you down? That's the thing. And I think Aljamain is one of those people that can do that. And, you know, some people are saying Evloev can be it. I want to talk about Evloev later, for now we're talking about Aljamain, but I think Sterling is probably one of the top people in the featherweight division that can give problems to Ilia Topuria. All right, going down more against the rankings. So first person that we talked about that can probably beat Topuria, or not probably, just have a chance of beating him, is Aljamain Sterling. Next, at number 8, Josh Emmett. Topuria already beat him. Number 7, Arnold Allen. Yeah, I don't think Allen is good enough to beat Topuria. I don't even think he can give him a competitive fight. It might be slightly competitive, but I just think Topuria wins it. Brian Ortega, forget about it. Yair Rodriguez, I don't see it. I could see maybe just a little bit of Rodriguez maybe having some success with his striking, because we do know that Topuria, he is a bit susceptible to kicks. You guys remember the Josh Herbert fight when he got struck down by a kick and he got dropped and almost finished, but luckily he recovered. And if I remember correctly, Topuria actually changed his whole fighting style because of that fight. He changed his whole style. He made it different. You know, he started becoming more defensive, and I think one of the ways, if you really want to beat Topuria, is you have to kick him. You have to, like, kick him. I don't think you're going to do it in a just pure striking battle. I think you need to use kicks. You know, speaking of kicks, and, you know, if Topuria talks about moving up to 155, you know, we know a certain 155 champ who likes to kick some of his toughest rivals. That's one fight I want to talk about. That's maybe on a different topic. Anyways, I don't think Yair Rodriguez can get it, but I think Yair can have a puncher's chance or a kicker's chance. Next at number 4, Movsar Evloev. Yeah, this is a guy that I think probably has the best chance in the division. I think Movsar probably has the best chance in the division to beat Topuria. When you look at his grappling is really good at taking down, you know, and we saw some of the scrambles he did with Aljamain. I think Aljamain might actually have better grappling, but I think Movsar might have better scrambles. And I'm not sure how important scrambles is when it comes to, like, a Topuria. Because when's the last time Topuria was down and kept down? I know he got taken down by Bryce Mitchell, which is kind of like an asterisk a little bit. But, you know, people get taken down by anyone, really. And you never know what happens. I think he probably has the best chance to beat Topuria, looking at it now. Because I think the way you beat Topuria is you need either like a puncher's chance or a kicker's chance. And it's you're just not really gonna like out technical this guy. The only guy that can give a technical fight to Topuria, in my opinion, was Alexander Volkanovski. But I just think that KO power is just too strong. You know, he's just too strong. And the best way to beat Topuria is really by grappling. Because even though Volkanovski is so technical, he's just like a really good point fighter. Topuria hits so hard, and he's willing to take one just to give you one. And we saw that Topuria, I believe, knocked him out with a right hand. I think it was a right hook. I might be wrong. I know that Topuria knocked out Holloway with a left hook. And then started pounding on him on the ground. Pause. No diddy. Anyways, I think Movsar has the best chance, in my opinion. And, but even then, I still think Topuria wins. I don't think there's anyone in the division that can actually beat Topuria. Anyways, the next fighter that I want to talk about that can maybe give Topuria a good fight, because we saw that he beat #1 Alexander Volkanovski, and we saw that beat Max Holloway. Max Holloway's still in the featherweight rankings, even though he's officially moved up to 155. Now we're just waiting for him to get a fight at 155. Next fight, and the rightful contender, because apparently they were already planning on announcing Alexander Volkanovski versus Topuria 2 again. Diego Lopez. Yeah, I think Lopez doesn't have the chance. So I can see Lopez having a puncher's chance, but I just think Topuria would take him to deep waters or knock him out in the second round. Because Lopez has the issue where he just like gasses out, and he's not really meant for 5-rounders. Like, sure, he can make it last for 5 rounds, but I just don't think he's that. I don't think he's the answer to be champ. Like, I don't think Lopez is ever going to be champ, most likely, unless Topuria is well from the division. And even then, you know, he's got a competitive fight with Movsar. He lost the first time to Movsar, but granted, it was short notice. But Movsar actually beat Lopez in a rematch. I don't know, you know? I don't know enough about Movsar, enough about Lopez to know how both of them evolve to do in a rematch. But I think that Lopez, you know, he really has a puncher's chance, in my opinion. Yeah, he's got some crazy knockout power, too. I think Topuria still hits harder, but we saw that he stunned Brian Ortega and almost knocked him out. No one has really done that. No one has done that, and we've seen him. We've seen Ortega get punched by Max. We've seen him get punched by Yair, by Volk. No one has managed to knock him out. We saw, literally, Max Holloway, like, pretty much put, like, a lifetime beating on this guy. You know, he was literally teaching Brian how to freaking block with his hands, like mid-fight. He literally grabbed his wrist and he told him, like, this is how you block. Like, that's not the type of shit that Max is like the main character sometimes, man. Max is like the main UFC character. Sometimes. The reason I say sometimes you get someone like a Topuria, or you get sometimes like a Volk, and he just takes the main character energy away from Max. But so here's my 3 top options and who I think I can beat Topuria, and I'm going to list them in order. Number 3, Lopez. Diego Lopez. Number 2, Aljamain Sterling. Number 1, Movsar Evloev. But here's the thing, do I think any of them actually beat Topuria? No. I just think Topuria is that good where there's nobody that can actually beat him right now. And it's going to be really hard to try to beat him at the moment. And I really do think that if Topuria keeps defending his belt at 145, he's going to be the 145 GOAT in like 3 years. You know, 5 more title defenses, you can just scoot over to Volk. You know, I don't think Volk is going to be the featherweight GOAT anymore if you just have Topuria stacking up title defenses. My problem with Topuria, though, he doesn't fight often. Topuria really does not like fighting often. He's okay with waiting out, sitting out. He's not really the type of guy that wants to fight often, which I don't like. I'm a big fan of champs that fight often. And it's just a bummer, really, because I think if this guy is serious, then, you know, he could fight. He could have like a really crazy resume in just a couple years if he fights often. And I know people talk about the Islam Makhachev fight. And the Makhachev fight, you know, I would love to see that, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think Islam is probably going to have one more title defense, maybe just in Gaethje if Gaethje wins against Hooker in like July or June, because Islam just like talk about wanting to fight in July. And then I think he fights in Abu Dhabi in October or maybe like November or December, and probably moves up at welterweight. And I think if he moves up, I think he's done with lightweight. I don't think he's actually going to keep fighting if he moves up at welterweight, or my bad, at lightweight. I think he's just going to permanently stay at welterweight. Or, you know, he could be one of those champs that keeps moving up divisions, trying to, like, get title defenses in both divisions, which would be cool because we never really see that happen. It seems like when people get one belt, they just want to strictly defend the third belt. or the second belt, my bad. You know, they don't want to go back to defending in the lower weight class. They just kind of like want to stay there. They're not going to shift weight divisions, you know? That's the thing. Yeah, but that's it for this video. Just wanted to talk about who I think could beat Ilia Topuria. And right now, looking at the featherweight rankings, I think there's really nobody that can beat him. And I'm not trying to be like a Topuria glazer, you know, saying this guy is the GOAT, this guy is unbeatable. He is beatable, but it's just so hard to beat him considering his skill set. It's just really hard, and I just don't see anyone putting it on him. And I really do think Evloev is the best chance we have at featherweight. Anyways, that's it for this video, guys. Just wanted to talk about who I think can beat Topuria, because I think it's a video that the topic that not many people talk about. And that's it for this one. If you guys like the video, then please subscribe. I would appreciate it a lot. If you don't, then that's alright too. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one.